This is going to be a train wreck.
All right, narrative telephone time.
Oh, God help me.
Do it now. What's your name?
Kirkpatrick or something like that.
Okay, so,
Something happened?
the cat could talk.
And the cat, nope.
And they have some kind of conversation that is kind of lost in the mix.
Well, the wizard's name was Kirkpatrick. I can tell you that much.
No matter. This is what we need.
The end.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
The Familiar. Jasper was born in an old room perched on the side of an old tower, owned by an old wizard named Calathandros. Mother and father served as the master's traveling companions, scouring the lands of Rovenia for rare books to bring back to the tower. Jasper spent his days reading from the tower library. He was, you see, ill from birth and generally confined to his room. The old wizard had once attempted to cure him with magic, only to say, "There's already magic within the boy. There's nothing I can do for him, but he is welcome to stay in this tower for as long as I am its master." And years passed, Jasper never having left the tower with the wizard and books as his only friends. On his 10th birthday, father came in and presented him with a gift. "My son, the master says that this book, The Fae and Their Friends, bears the same magics within as you do, and as such must belong to you." Jasper was elated, for while he was surrounded by books, this was the first that was his. That night he burned through 2 candles as he carefully read his book. As he began to drift to sleep, the ink on the page in front of him began to swirl into the form of a black cat, which turned to look at him, and then leapt from the pages of the book, deep sapphire eyes settling on Jasper. "Hello, human kitten. What is your name?" "Jasper. And who are you, noble cat?" The cat began to lick a paw. "I do not have a name, for I've only been born into your realm but a moment ago." "I should very much like a name." The sapphire eyes blinked at Jasper. "Well, friend cat, what kind of a name would you like?" The cat blinked again. "I wish a name that is my own, not one that someone else has already taken." "Well, then we shall have to get to know one another, for I cannot find you a name without knowing who you are. And a name is quite important after all." A third time the cat blinked. "You are wise for a human. Are you by any chance part cat? No? No matter. I have decided we shall be friends." And friends they became. After an hour of exploring the small room for a name and chasing motes of light, the cat decided that staying inside would not do. "Come outside and let us explore this realm. But I am confined to my bed, and I've never seen the outside world." "Well, we can't have that, can we? Bring back out that book, and let's see if there is magic within to help us with our problem." And so Jasper began to read again, friend cat on his shoulder, peering intently at the words, as if waiting to pounce on the correct phrase. A paw settled on a page. "This is what we need." And the boy began to read words of fey magic aloud for the first time. The book began to glow a sapphire color. Jasper's eyes began to glow sapphire, and the cat's eyes began to glow sapphire. And suddenly the boy could see himself through the eyes of his new friend. "Come, human kitten, let us explore the world and find me a name."
There's so much. Once upon a time, a boy was born in an old room on the side of an old tower, owned by an old wizard named Kilpatrick. Not it. The boy's name was Jasper, and his parents spent their time exploring the lands of Rovenia in search of books of all kinds. For the boy spent all of his time, he was ill since birth, and he spent all of his time in the library in the tower, that was his room, reading books of all kinds. That was his only entertainment as he was confined to his bed. And one day, the boy's father brought home a book called Friends and Fae. Sure. And that night, the boy stayed up reading and went through 2 candles. And as he was reading, the ink on the page began swirling and moving, and a cat appeared out of the ink and said, "Human kitten, what is your name?" And the boy said, "My name's Jasper. What is your name, noble cat?" And the cat said, "I have no name." And the boy said, "Well, we shall have to change that." And the cat said, "Certainly, but I don't want just any name. I want a name that is mine and mine alone." And so Jasper said, "Well, I have many books here. Why don't we look through the books until we find a suitable name for you?" And the cat said, "Sure, let's do that." And so they began reading through the books, but before long, the cat said, being inside is no longer suitable for me. I think we should go outside and explore the world." And the boy said, "But I've never been outside. I've been confined to my bed all of my life." And the cat, nope, totally forgot about it. The book, Friends and Fae, when it was given to Jasper, the old wizard said, "This book has the same magic that is in you." That's not his voice. And so back forward. So the cat said, "Why don't we look for a cure for your illness in these magical books?" And so they began flipping through all of these books, and at last the cat puts his paw on a page and says, "This is what we're looking for." And both the cat's eyes and Jasper's eyes began swirling sapphire. And I'm certain that something else happened, but this was 3 minutes long, and I have no idea what that was. So the cat and Jasper went off on adventures.
Oh, God help me. This is going to be a train wreck. Once upon a time, there was a boy who lived in an old tower, in an old room. Wait, an old tower. Once upon a time, there was a boy who lived in an old tower in an old room owned by an old wizard whose name was Kirkpatrick or something like that. He was ill, and so he never left his room, and his parents would travel the lands of Rovenia searching for old books. And one day, the old wizard came in and gave him a book called Friends and Fae. And I think he read the book, and something happened, and the ink swirled, and a cat appeared. And the cat said, "Human kitten, what is your name?" And the boy replied, "Jasper." And the boy said, "What is your name?" And the cat said, "I do not have a name." And the boy said, "That will not do." And so they started, shit. I'm so sorry. So the boy said, "That will not do." And the cat said, "I would like a name, but I would like a name that is mine." And the boy and the cat started looking through the different books, trying to find a name for the cat. And apparently, something that was missed before was that the old wizard came in and said that there was something special about the book Friends and Fae. I don't remember. And At one point, the cat finally put his paw on a page and said, "That's the one." And the boy's eyes and the cat's eyes turned sapphire. And then they went outside on adventures. And that's the end. Yeah! Cheers and good luck.
Okay, so the story goes that once upon a time in an old land, there was a boy that lived in an old tower and in an old room owned by an old wizard named Kirkpatrick. He was ill, the boy was, and he had traveled to a land, Rovena, and he was looking for books, apparently, and one day the wizard came in, and he brought him a book called Friends and Fae. He read the book, and the ink swirled on the pages, and a cat appeared. The cat could talk, and the cat said, human kitten, what is your name? And the boy said Jasper, and he asked for the cat's name, and the cat didn't have a name, and he said, "This will not do." He didn't have one, and so they looked through the books that the boy had, and apparently found the one that the wizard had given him, I think, and found the name in the book and gave him the name. He said, "This is my name." And then both of their eyes turned to a color of sapphire. That's it. The end. Sorry, guys.
So the story takes place in an ancient land, in an ancient tower owned by a wizard, in an ancient room. A boy travels to Ravinia and in search of a wizard named Kirkpatrick. And he finds this wizard in his ancient tower. Apparently the boy is ill, and he goes to the wizard for assistance in this matter. Now the wizard, in order to help the boy, brings him a book called Friends and Fae. And he gives him the book, and they open it and they start reading it together, and the ink swirls on the page and a mystical cat appears. And the cat says to the boy, "Human kitten, what is it that ails you?" And they have some kind of conversation that is kind of lost in the mix. And the boy, whose name is Jasper, asks the cat, "Well, what's your name?" And the cat says, "Well, I don't have a name." The boy says, "That will not do." And so they start going through all the books trying to find a name for the cat. And eventually they find the cat's name in the book Friends and Fae that the wizard had originally given him. And the boy says, "Here it is. This is your name." And then both the boy's eyes and the cat's eyes started to glow like sapphires.
There's no way I'm going to get this right, so do it now. So there, in an ancient land, in an ancient tower, in an ancient room, owned by a wizard, there was a young boy named Jasper, and he was really sick, so he had to go look for a cure, I guess. And I'm forgetting everything that happened. So he went to go look for a cure, and he went to the library. Perhaps that's the ancient room. And Well, the wizard's name was Kirkpatrick. I can tell you that much. So the wizard was helping him look for the cure, and they looked through a bunch of books, and they found one called Friends and Fae that had a bunch of stuff in it. And so they were reading through it out loud, and as they read, suddenly the texts and the words got all swirly, and up popped a little cat, a cat sort of creature, and it said, "Human kitten, what do you need?" And the boy was like, "I don't know." Or he said, "Human kitten, what is your name?" And the boy was like, "I'm Jasper. What's your name?" And the cat was like, "I don't know." So they looked in the book, and then they found his name, and their eyes started glowing blue.
All right, narrative telephone time. I think this is going to be kind of short based on the information I have. So, in an ancient land was an ancient tower. In that tower was an ancient room. There was a boy named Jasper in this room who was very sick. And he went to... the tower was owned by a wizard named Kirkpatrick. And the boy was trying to figure out how to cure his ailment. So he and Kirkpatrick were in the library of the tower, which could also have been the ancient room within said ancient tower. They came across a book called Friends and Fae. And as they started reading the book, there was the pages and the words started swirling around in front of them, and suddenly materialized into a cat who spoke to Jasper and said, "What is it that you need, human kitten?" And Jasper asked the cat what its name was, and he said he didn't know. And so he disappeared, and they started reading the book again. And as they did, their eyes started glowing blue. The end.